Congratulations, Tim. The film's
Thanks so much.
beautiful. It's almost here. I wanted to ask some questions. With so much conversation around mental health in sort of society and culture today, what did you feel the film added to that dialogue and that conversation?
I hope it's a starting point for discussion and contemplation. I feel I don't like the taboo atmosphere around it. So I think if we just could look at it as if you get a broken arm, and everyone knows, I will get a broken arm, you need some time, you can't do heavy lifting, that's it will be over. If we just can talk about mental health like we can talk about a broken arm, so that would be great. That's where I'm after, when we can lose the taboo atmosphere and just be honest and vulnerable, and that society doesn't demand to be whatever strong. What I learned from this movie is that vulnerability is the strongest weapon we possess as human beings. If we want to get somewhere, that we have to use vulnerability and be open to each other. So that's something I would like to bring to the table with this movie.
That's so lovely, and it's so true, the parity of esteem between physical and mental health being equal, essentially. Why did you feel that Steve, obviously, the relationship between Steve and the boys is so important, and that mental health of the boys and Steve kind of is so intertwined? Why was it particularly important to tell Steve's story?
I think he's not on a pedestal looking down on them. He's not on a high horse looking down on them. I think they're on the same level. They both get problems and they share it with each other. They can tell he's not all right. And therefore, just really therefore, I think they're open to Steve to let him help him. And I think they're helping each other in a way. How he talks to, like, it's not like a one-way conversation. I feel they are also love Steve.
Yeah, him being an amazing role model for that vulnerability, which you just touched upon.
Exactly, yeah.
And just on that, what responsibility do you think filmmakers have when depicting mental health problems in popular media? Steve obviously does that so beautifully and sensitively.
I think what's important is that it doesn't come across as being patronizing. I think that's very important. And that's what I try to do. It's like not to be too preachy about it.
Yeah, it's really nice, and you've spoken about it before, that kind of the pain and the beauty, the agony and the ecstasy of that kind of, there's a lot going on, but there's also a lot of pain. Were there any creative risks you took or avoided when making sure the film was sort of telling the story sensitively and responsibly?
I have to say, like, it's all pride and glory to Max. Like, he really understood the three-dimensional approach of the character, and there's a lot of there's something of myself in there, and there's a lot of Killian in there, and I think the three of us, we're very open and sensitive to the material.
Yeah.
And the material itself was great.
Yeah, and that material is so raw. So just coming back to yourself and moving away from Steve himself, how did you take care of your well-being and that of the cast and the crew while grappling with such an intense subject?
I think the boys, they were really looked after. I think they got green rooms. They could do boxing, they could run around, they could go totally mental as much as they possibly want. So that was very important. They weren't bored and they always get a good time. I think we did like long rehearsal sessions of 2 weeks where we get to know each other very well, where the boys talked about themselves. Yes. I asked the boys to bring like pictures of themselves, some important pictures throughout their life. They were kind of talking points. Yeah. So I was trying to create a character through them. Instead of putting a character on top of them. So the boys became the character and the character became the boys. And we mapped out the relationship between everyone. And I want to keep it fresh as well. While we were shooting, sometimes out of nowhere, I pulled out a scene which I was thinking of in the morning before. And now we just did a scene. Like, I think the fire alarm scene is an example of that. Like, just to keep it fresh and to get them the feeling like anything can happen in a minute.
Yeah, there's something quite wonderful about the way you speak about the directing and the creating of the film, almost living embodiment of the film itself. You know, your connection with the boys, that emotion, that talking, that understanding them as people. and kind of encouraging them to live. You speak a lot about how emotions and that vulnerability is important in filmmaking. Talk to me a bit about that.
Yeah, but it's not like too vulnerable. I think if you want to work with these boys, you have to do a lot of insulting as well, just to keep them on their toes. Yeah. So I wasn't too nice all the time. I think it's more like a football coach would do it, I guess. But someone you really like, so they could say whatever they want to me, but I like to keep it like fresh and energetic, because it's not always the pain. I think I wanted a lot of comedy there as well. I just want to have a good laughs there, and they were so funny, these boys. So I want to give them like a platform to do that as well.
Yeah, and that really comes through in the film itself with that, that what they're going through. But it looks like they had a good time doing it as well.
Yeah. They were dancing around. I think they get a good time. Yeah, absolutely. Certainly for the boys who haven't acted before. They were in the weekend they were working at Tesco, and in the week they were on the set with an Oscar winner. So that must be very insane for them.
Yeah. And just one final last question. The film's obviously set in the 90s. What future do you think the boys met as adults, and what do you think got them there?
I think we talked a lot about it. I think they all got alive, and what got them there, it's someone who believed in them.
Yes.
I think that's what it is. I think if I go back to my own life, and I think we all got an imprint of a teacher, of someone who believed in us, and we carry it with us. I think that drives you, and I hope Steve was one of them.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thanks. Great question.